Dave B Racing is P5. Best lap is a 1:04.841. Fireball in Ralph's Ridge is first on mediums. Best lap is a 1:02.166. Bray in Deliverance is third on softs. Johnny Prince in Hook is P4. Best lap is a 1:04.306. Bray in What's Up is third. Johnny Prince is fourth. Fireball is first. Bray is P3 on mediums. Johnny Prince in Wilson's is fourth. Toddy Mustang in Deliverance is second. Best lap is a 1:02.171. Johnny Prince in Throat is fourth. The qualification session is at Kalabaghi Motorsports Park in Kalabaghi, Canada. That Canadian guy from Canada is P2 on mediums. Johnny Prince from New Zealand is P6 on mediums. Fireball is P6 on softs. The race dictator from New Zealand in Wicked is P2 on mediums. Toddy Mustang from New Zealand is first on mediums. Toddy Mustang is up 8.30 in throat. Toddy Mustang is up 8.66 in Quarry 1. Toddy Mustang improved his P1 with a 101.920. Johnny Prince in Wilson's is 4th. Johnny Prince improved his P4 with a 103.005. 1.085 off pole. The race dictator in Beak is P2 up 0.23 on mediums. That Canadian guy is 6th. That Canadian guy improved his P5 with a 104.801. 2.881 off pole. Johnny Prince in Hook is P4 up 0.24. Toddy Mustang in What's Up is first up 0.14. Toddy Mustang is provisional pole with a 101.830. That Canadian guy in Ralph's Ridge is P5 up 0.29. That Canadian guy improved his P3 with a 102.722. 0.892 off pole. Toddy Mustang in 4 left is first up 0.33. Toddy Mustang is provisional pole with a 101.573. The race dictator in Wicked is P2. The race dictator improved his second with a 102.327. 0.754 off pole. Fireball is 7th up 19.19. Five minutes remaining in the session. Fireball improved his P7 with a 103.348. 1.775 off pole. The race dictator in What's Up is P2 up 0.38 on mediums. The race dictator improved his second with a 102.089. 0.516 off pole. Fireball in Hook is P7 up 0.70. Fireball improved his third with a 102.374. 0.801 off pole. Dave B Racing from New Zealand in Wilson's is P8 on mediums. Johnny Prince in Wilson's is 6th. Johnny Prince improved his 5th with a 1:02.810. 1.237 off pole. That Canadian guy is 4th. That Canadian guy improved his P4 with a 1:02.487. 0.914 off pole. The race dictator in Spoon is P2. Best lap is a 1:02.089. 0.516 off pole. Toddy Mustang is provisional pole with a 1:01.561. That Canadian guy is 4th. That Canadian guy is up 0.40 in Ralph's Ridge. That Canadian guy improved his 3rd with a 1:02.131. 0.570 off pole. Fireball in Beak is 4th up 0.28. Best lap is a 1:02.374. 0.813 off pole. That Canadian guy from Canada in Beak is 3rd up 0.13. The race dictator is 2nd. The race dictator is up 0.16 in crown. Dave B Racing in Beak is P8 up 0.20. Dave B Racing is up 0.73 in Spoon. Dave B Racing improved his 7th with a 1:03.197. 1.636 off pole. Bray from New Zealand is P8 up 0.26 on mediums. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Johnny Prince in What's Up is 5th. Best lap is a 1:02.810. 1.249 off pole. Fireball in Hook is 4th up 0.31. Dave B Racing is P8 up 0.11. Dave B Racing improved his P6 with a 1:02.868. 1.307 off pole. Jason Short from New Zealand is 7th on softs. Best lap is a 1:02.892. 1.331 off pole. Broadcast bot is P20 on mediums. The race session is at Kalabaghi Motorsports Park in Kalabaghi, Canada. Toddy Mustang is P1. Fireball entering the pits is 19th. Toddy Mustang entering the pits is 18th. Dave B Racing entering the pits is P17. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. The race dictator entering the pits is P1. Bray entering the pits is P4. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in Deliverance is second on mediums. The race session is at Kalabaghi Motorsports Park in Kalabaghi, Canada. Johnny Prince from New Zealand is P5 on mediums. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Fireball in Deliverance is P2 on mediums. The race dictator from New Zealand is P3 on mediums. Fireball is second. The race dictator in Wicked is third. Fireball is P2 on mediums, 0.8 ahead of the race dictator. The race dictator in Beak is third on mediums, 0.9 behind Fireball. That Canadian guy from Canada is P5 on mediums, 0.3 behind Johnny Prince. Fireball in What's Up on lap 2 is third, 0.4 behind the race dictator. Johnny Prince is fourth, 1.4 behind Fireball. The race dictator in Brow is second, 0.5 behind Toddy Mustang. Toddy Mustang was 0.8 faster last lap. Fireball in Beak is third, 0.9 ahead of Johnny Prince. The race dictator from New Zealand in throat is P2, 0.7 behind Toddy Mustang. Fireball in Ralph's Ridge on lap 3 is P3, 0.4 ahead of Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince was 0.6 faster last lap. The race dictator is P2, 0.2 ahead of Fireball. Fireball is P3, 0.4 ahead of Johnny Prince. The Race Dictator from New Zealand is second, 0.6 ahead of Fireball. Fireball in Pro is third, 0.5 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator is P2, 0.4 behind Toddy Mustang. Fireball in Wilson's is third on mediums, 0.7 behind the Race Dictator. 15 minutes remaining in the session. The Race Dictator in Deliverance is P2, 0.4 behind Toddy Mustang. Fireball is third, 0.8 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator in Spoon is P2, 0.4 behind Toddy Mustang. Fireball is third, 0.6 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator in Deliverance is P2, 0.7 ahead of Fireball. Fireball in Beef on lap 6 is third, 0.8 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator from New Zealand in Ralph's Ridge is second, 0.7 behind Toddy Mustang. Johnny Prince is fourth on mediums, 0.8 behind Fireball. The Race Dictator in Deliverance is P2, 1.1 behind Toddy Mustang. Johnny Prince in Throat is fourth, 1.3 behind Fireball. The Race Dictator is P2, 0.8 behind Toddy Mustang. Johnny Prince is P3, 0.9 behind the Race Dictator. Johnny Prince passed the Race Dictator for P2. Dave B Racing from New Zealand in Deliverance is P4 on mediums, 0.8 behind the Race Dictator. Dave B Racing was 3.4 faster last lap. Ray from New Zealand in Deliverance is P7 on mediums, 0.4 behind Jason Short. The race dictator in Spoon is third, 0.8 behind Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince was 4.3 faster last lap. Bray in Spoon is P7, 0.5 behind Jason Short. The race dictator in Deliverance on lap 9 is P3, 0.7 behind Johnny Prince. Bray from New Zealand in Deliverance is P7, 0.3 behind Jason Short. Ten minutes remaining in the session. The race dictator is P3, 2.2 behind Johnny Prince. Bray is 7th, 0.2 behind Jason Short. That Canadian guy in What's Up is P8, 0.1 behind Bray. That Canadian guy was 1.6 faster last lap. That Canadian guy passed Bray for P7. The race dictator is P3 on mediums, 1.6 behind Johnny Prince. Bray and Beak is P8. Fireball on lap 10 is P6, 0.6 behind that Canadian guy. Fireball passed that Canadian guy for P5. Bray is P8, 0.9 behind Jason Short. Jason Short was 14.4 faster last lap. Johnny Prince is second, 0.5 ahead of the race dictator. The race dictator is P3, 0.1 ahead of Fireball. Dave B Racing is P4, 0.1 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short was 5.7 faster last lap. Dave B Racing is now P5. Dave B Racing lost 5th to Fireball. Jason Short from New Zealand in Hook on lap 11 is third on mediums, 0.3 ahead of the race dictator. The race dictator is fourth, 0.2 behind Jason Short. The race dictator is now third. Fireball is fourth, 0.7 behind the race dictator. The race dictator is third. Best lap is a 1:02.068. 0.562 off the fastest lap. Johnny Prince in beat is P6, 0.7 behind that Canadian guy. Johnny Prince is now 5th. The race dictator is 3rd, 0.6 behind Jason Short. Johnny Prince is 5th, 1.5 behind that Canadian guy. The race dictator in crown is 3rd, 0.4 behind Jason Short. Five minutes remaining in the session. Johnny Prince in hook is P5, 1.7 behind that Canadian guy. Jason Short from New Zealand in wicket is P3, 1.2 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy in Stadium 1 is 4th. Best lap is a 1:02.364. 0.858 off the fastest lap. Jason Short in throat is 3rd, 0.9 ahead of that Canadian guy. Fireball in spoon is 5th, 1.3 behind Johnny Prince. That Canadian guy from Canada in Wilson's is P6, 1.9 behind Fireball. Fireball in brow is P5, 1.2 behind Johnny Prince. The race dictator in Ralph's Ridge is P3, 0.5 behind Jason Short. Fireball in 41 is 5th, 0.5 behind Johnny Prince. The race dictator from New Zealand in Stadium 1 is 3rd, 0.3 behind Jason Short. Fireball in crown is 5th, 0.9 behind Johnny Prince. The race dictator from New Zealand is P3, 0.4 behind Jason Short. Fireball in 4 left is 5th. Best lap is a 1:01.947. 0.441 off the fastest lap. Jason Short is P4 on mediums, 0.1 behind Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince in Deliverance is fourth, battling Jason Short. Johnny Prince lost fourth to Fireball. Fireball in throat on lap 17 is fourth, 0.2 behind Jason Short. Johnny Prince in Spoon is P5 on mediums, 0.6 behind Fireball. Fireball is fourth, 0.5 ahead of Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince is sixth, 0.9 behind that Canadian guy. Fireball in Beak is fourth, 0.9 behind Jason Short. The leader has just finished the race. Toddy Mustang from New Zealand finished P1. The race dictator finished second. Jason Short finished P3. That Canadian guy finished P4. Fireball finished P5. Johnny Prince finished P6. Ray finished 7th. Dave B Racing finished P8. Broadcast bot is P9. The race session is at Kalavagi Motorsports Park in Kalavagi, Canada. Dave B Racing from New Zealand is P1 on mediums. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Ray from New Zealand in Deliverance is second on mediums. That Canadian guy from Canada is P3 on mediums. Ray is second. Canadian guy in wicket is P3. Bray is second, 0.6 ahead of that Canadian guy. That Canadian guy in Beak is third, 0.3 behind Bray. Bray from New Zealand in Ralph's Ridge is P2, 0.3 ahead of that Canadian guy. Fireball in What's Up is P3 on mediums, 0.5 ahead of that Canadian guy. Fireball is now P7. The Race Dictator from New Zealand on lap 2 is P2 on mediums, 0.3 behind that Canadian guy. Toddy Mustang from New Zealand in Stadium 1 is fourth on mediums, 0.6 ahead of Bray. The Race Dictator in Deliverance is second, 0.3 behind that Canadian guy. Jason Short from New Zealand is P3 on mediums, 0.3 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator in Hook is P2, 0.4 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short from New Zealand is third, 0.3 ahead of Toddy Mustang. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in What's Up is P7 on mediums, 0.8 ahead of Fireball. Johnny Prince is now P5. Toddy Mustang in Stadium 1 is 6th. Best lap is a 1:11.876. 3.504 off the fastest lap. The Race Dictator is P2, 0.8 behind that Canadian guy. That Canadian guy was 0.8 faster last lap. Johnny Prince in Hook on lap 4 is P6, 0.3 ahead of Fireball. Johnny Prince was 1.2 faster last lap. Fireball on lap 4 is 7th, 0.3 behind Johnny Prince. "15 minutes remaining in the session. The Race Dictator is second, 0.7 behind that Canadian guy. Fireball in Deliverance is P8, 0.2 behind Bray. The Race Dictator in 4 left is P2, 0.4 behind that Canadian guy. Bray is P7 on mediums, 2.7 behind Dave B Racing. Dave B Racing was 1.1 faster last lap. The Race Dictator is second, 0.4 behind that Canadian guy. The Race Dictator was 0.8 faster last lap. Bray and Crown is 7th, 1.0 behind Dave B Racing. The Race Dictator in 41 is 2nd, 0.5 behind that Canadian guy. Bray in 4 left is 7th. Best lap is a 1:03.760. 2.047 off the fastest lap. The Race Dictator on lap 7 is 2nd, 0.6 behind that Canadian guy. That Canadian guy is P2 battling the Race Dictator. Fireball is 7th. Best lap is a 1:02.541. 0.828 off the fastest lap. That Canadian guy is 2nd, 0.6 behind the Race Dictator. Toddy Mustang in Deliverance is P4, 0.3 behind Jason Short. That Canadian guy in Hook is P2, 0.7 behind the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator was 1.3 faster last lap. Jason Short in Ralph's Ridge is 4th, 0.5 behind Toddy Mustang. That Canadian guy in Stadium 1 is 2nd, 1.6 behind the Race Dictator. Jason Short is 4th, 1.1 behind Toddy Mustang. That Canadian guy on lap 9 is 2nd, 1.4 behind the Race Dictator. Ten minutes remaining in the session. Bray and Hook is 8th, 2.9 behind Dave B Racing. Johnny Prince in Stadium 1 on lap 10 is 5th, 1.0 behind Jason Short. Dave B Racing in Deliverance is 7th on mediums, 1.8 behind Fireball. Fireball was 1.0 faster last lap. That Canadian guy in crown is P2, 0.4 behind the race dictator. Toddy Mustang in Beak is third, 0.3 ahead of Jason Short. That Canadian guy in Ralph's Ridge is P2, 0.6 behind the race dictator. Ray in 41 is 5th, 0.5 behind Toddy Mustang. Toddy Mustang was 0.8 faster last lap. That Canadian guy in Stadium 1 is 2nd, 0.5 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy was 1.3 faster last lap. Dave B Racing in Crown is 4th, 0.3 ahead of Ray. Guy from Canada is P2, 0.4 behind the race dictator. Ray in 4 left is P5, 0.6 behind Dave B Racing. That Canadian guy is 2nd on mediums, 0.4 behind the race dictator. Fireball is 7th. Best lap is a 1:01.925. 0.212 off the fastest lap. That Canadian guy in Hook is 2nd, 0.8 behind the race dictator. Fireball on lap 12 is 6th, 0.4 behind Johnny Prince. That Canadian guy in Stadium 1 is P2, 1.3 behind the race dictator. Toddy Mustang in Brow is P3, 1.0 behind that Canadian guy. Toddy Mustang passed that Canadian guy for 2nd. That Canadian guy from Canada is P3, 0.1 behind Toddy Mustang. Toddy Mustang was 1.2 faster last lap. That Canadian guy lost P3 to Bray. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Johnny Prince is P4. That Canadian guy is 5th, 0.8 behind Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince is P4, 0.6 ahead of that Canadian guy. Johnny Prince was 11.8 faster last lap. That Canadian guy is 5th, 0.5 behind Johnny Prince. Toddy Mustang is P2 on mediums, 3.8 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy is 5th, 0.3 behind Johnny Prince. Toddy Mustang in Ralph's Ridge is 2nd, 3.3 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy in Spoon is 5th, 0.5 behind Johnny Prince. That Canadian guy was 0.6 faster last lap. Toddy Mustang in Deliverance is 2nd, 1.6 behind the race dictator. Toddy Mustang was 1.3 faster last lap. That Canadian guy is P5, 0.3 behind Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince in Hook is P4, 0.5 ahead of that Canadian guy. Johnny Prince passed Gray for P3. Toddy Mustang in Wilson's on lap 16 is 2nd, 1.0 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy from Canada in Wilson's is P4 battling Bray. That Canadian guy lost 4th to Bray. Toddy Mustang is 2nd, 0.9 behind the race dictator. Bray is 4th, 0.3 ahead of that Canadian guy. Toddy Mustang is P2, 0.4 behind the race dictator. That Canadian guy in What's Up is P4. Best lap is a 1:02.463. 0.888 off the fastest lap. Toddy Mustang in Throat on lap 18 is P2, 0.5 behind the race dictator. Toddy Mustang was 0.8 faster last lap. Jason Short entering the pits is 7th. Johnny Prince in Crown is 6th, 0.7 behind Fireball. Fireball was 13.2 faster last lap. The leader has just finished the race. The race dictator finished P1. Toddy Mustang finished P2. Bray finished P3. That Canadian guy finished 4th. Fireball finished P5. Johnny Prince finished 6th. Broadcast